All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another show. This is You Made Roscoe, and I am Roscoe. Today, I got two of my partners in crime in the building with me. I got Peeps in the building, and I got Jovi in the building. What's up with it, my dudes?
What up, y'all?
All right. Today, me and the fellas, we're gonna be taking a look at a video that is labeled "NBA Legends Explain How Good Allen Iverson Really Was." This ought to be interesting because like for me, I have my own views on Allen Iverson, and I don't know how popular they will be. But before we get into it, I do want to ask for anybody who hasn't that they please subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell. That way, you'll be reminded of future shows. Uh, um, well, usually this will be the point where I will point out to make sure that you go over to the artist page or something like that, and subscribe to them. But it's the NBA; they don't need our help. So, they're $1 billion conglomerate. They will be all right, But yeah, no, me and the guys, we gonna go ahead and get into it. Y'all ready to do this, man?
Let's do it.
All right, all right. So let's go ahead and start this up.
And he breaks his ankles, and he got it! And the crowd rising to their feet. Oh, Barry plays with the lamb ahead to Kemp.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, what's good? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. I'm your host, Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're ready for your weekly dose of old school NBA basketball. In today's episode, I want to take a look at NBA legends giving their opinion about Allen Iverson and how good he really was. And I did my best to find some clips that you probably haven't seen before. But before we dive into today's episode, let me ask you guys for a quick favor. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy the content. All right, enough.
All right, there is somebody. I just assumed that this was, an NBA page or something like that. So there is a guy. Did they say his name was Sean David or Sean Davis or something like that? But either or, like I'll find a way to make his name available so people can go over to his page and do all that stuff that he's talking about. So let's keep it going.
Enough said. Now let's dive right into today's episode. Now, the first clip that we're going to take a look at is from MB90s. If you haven't heard about that documentary, check it out on YouTube. And there are a couple of NBA superstars and legends giving their opinion about AI.
Yeah, but there was no question who was number one. The answer.
Allen Iverson was ridiculous.
Coleman almost ran him over trying to do something.
AI is just so fly because it's A1, it's the sauce. It just feels good when it's poured over the right thing, and money was just the right thing.
Iverson has Marbury, crosses over, strong to the...
He, to me, was a great artist because you got a sense of who he was as a person because of how hard he played.
Left 20 gallons of sweat on the court every game. That's AI.
Iverson made you proud to be part of the NBA. That guy was so good, so tough.
Iverson easily by Price for two. Allen Iverson talking to Charles Barkley.
Couldn't nobody stop him. He could score anytime he wanted to, 40s, 50s, whatever he wanted to do.
Allen Iverson, 4 straight with 40 or more. Allen Iverson with 50 for the night.
He was. I'm gonna stop it right there. Oh, the old junkyard dog right there. But yeah, no. It's kind of not weird hearing like the NBA greats talk about him, in such a glowing way. Because me as a fan, I always had like a different look on Allen Iverson. And it's not to say that I didn't think that he was good at basketball. I think he was very good, but I think there's a little bit of, at least in my mind, him being overrated. a little bit because of the fact that yeah, he was like a high volume scorer and all that type of stuff, but he also was in a position where he could shoot the ball all the time, anytime he wanted to, and there really wasn't like a real second banana around. Scoring wise, I think he had like Jerry Stackhouse for like a year or two, around, and he was a viable scorer, but I just think that there was a little bit of he was overrated a little bit in my assessment, and that's just me. But what's some of y'all views? Because y'all might have a different take on it than I do. I'll start with you, Jovi.
For me,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna take issue. The audience might think I'm a little persnickety in the moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take issue with the name of this video. It says NBA legends explain how good Allen Iverson really was. What the hell is Michael Rappaport and Michael Bivins doing critiquing Allen Iverson? And then it says legends. I don't think Jerome Williams is an NBA legend. And Bill Walton is questionable. However, all that aside, like I just take issue with that.
Right.
Maybe some more issues will pop up later.
Right.
Only legend I saw was the glove, the mitten, Gary Payton. However, I'll say this. I was a big fan of Iverson in college. I used to love watching him in the tournament with Georgetown. I was such a big fan of his. And I pulled up his stats. Well, I ain't even gonna get into his stats right now. I'll say that for later.
Okay.
However, my personal opinion of Allen Iverson is he was a very good player. I used to love how wily he was on the court. I looked at his shooting percentage. It was 42% for his career, which ain't horrible,
It's bad. It's bad. But neither here nor there, right now. But go ahead. I didn't mean that.
I mean, for his size, I don't think it's horrible. He did. He did for the game. He brought excitement. A lot of people want to see the little man. Little man that could. I think I can. I think I can. That was Iverson. And you want to see somebody who is of. I mean, he's what 6'1". That's taller than average. The average American male. But for the NBA, he is David amongst Goliaths. And I think he did admirably for his size in that league. And I'll leave it there for now.
All right, Peeps.
Growing up, you of course living in Chicago, Michael Jordan was the be all end all of basketball and still is.
Mm-hmm.
That's for a whole nother debate.
Right.
And then there was Kobe. But within that timeline, you had Allen Iverson. And not only did Allen Iverson personify, quote unquote, what it meant to that Philadelphia spirit, because Philadelphia's fan base is tough. You have to be able to endure with them in order for them to hold you up as they do Allen Iverson. And Philly fans, from when I was watching those games, they absolutely loved him because he had a heart on him, man. He'll go in there, he'll take the contact, he'll take the shot, and keep on going. And, I remember him crossing up Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Before the braids. You know what I'm saying? I remember all of that. So for me, Allen Iverson is everything that you've heard about and probably a little bit more, because he was a guy who was greatly undersized and did not have any help. I mean, you can make an argument for when he got to Denver, but he had no help in Philly for those, 8 years, 9 years that he was in Philly. Mm-hmm. Eric Snow, Garrett Coleman, Mutombo was never an offensive threat. You know what I'm saying? Aaron McKee, no, none of those guys, man. Like, let's be honest. He had no other secondary option, and he wasn't a point guard to me. You know what I'm saying? He was a shooting guard, but he was tremendously undersized. But he was everything that, you heard that he was.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'll take that and run with it. I want to start this video back up, but you are right about like Philly's fan base. Like this is the same fan base that booed Santa Claus. So you know. I mean, if you going that far, you know what I mean.
Santa Claus deserves to be booed. He's being and eating all over the country.
Yeah, yeah. That's a subject for another time. But that's going hard. That's going pretty hard right there. But we'll keep it moving though.
4 straight with 40 or more. Allen Iverson with 50 for the night.
He was the anchor to a lot of kids' dreams and hopes.
He just meant so much to so many people, and he just was so unique.
Trying to guard this guy is like trying to hold water in the palm of your hand. Let's see what Anthony does. Forget about it. Iverson for 2.
And when you talk pop culture, he was right at the top. He was one of the most popular players.
Advantage 2 Flea Prevention is a premium choice. Get premium flea prevention with Advantage 2.
The magic is calling you to stay at a Disney Resort hotel, where you're surrounded by the...
In the NBA, all over the world.
I don't know if he was the first dude with cornrows. Allen would keep his tight, because, you got to have your cornrows hooked up.
Iverson crosses over against Brown, gets 2.
That's what I love about him. He brought swagger.
The guy told me when I get to the league and I play against Mike, I'm gonna hit him with the crossover. And I was like, son, you're not crossing up Michael Jordan. Have you lost your mind? Ooh! Ooh!
Allen shakes great, gets 2.
That was like, word.
He didn't shake Michael Jordan once. He shook him twice.
Yeah, Mike in the blender.
And made the shot buff.
And the next clip that we're going to take a look at is from Paul Pierce talking about how he feared Allen Iverson.
On this date in 2001, our greatest living American, yes, Allen Iverson, won the MVP, making him not only a legend, but the shortest player ever to win the award at 6 feet tall. My question for you, Paul Pierce, what was it like competing against the answer?
Man, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Rach. I didn't match up with him, but I knew I was in situations in pick and roll where I switched out on him. And I'm not gonna lie, I was scared to death because I could play defense and all, but I knew I couldn't slide my feet with Allen Iverson because every night when you looked up at the Sports Center highlights, he was crossing somebody, he was putting somebody in the mix. And so all I knew was when I switched on him, I was going to give him that Olay defense. I was going to I'm going to let him do his move, but I'm going to let him go. And hopefully I can send him to the baseline because I was not trying to slide my feet with that guy. I didn't want to.
Yeah, I'll be stopping for a second, but and he could cross some guys over. That's something that's not up for debate. Like he done crossed up guys. Even me being what some may consider Allen Iverson hater, which I'm not. I just consider like I know what I'm seeing, and Iverson was good, man, but I think something that was touched on a little bit before they switched over to this new clip is what made him so prominent is like how the league was changing during that time, and they brought up something about the cornrows. I think he may have been like the first guy to really pop up into public consciousness in the NBA with cornrows, the way that he dressed, the swagger that he had. I think that's some of the things that made him more of an icon or added to his icon status along with his game and the changing times. Because if you go just a few years later into Allen Iverson's career after he started, that's kind of the and one era has started at that point. And one basketball, I mean, so the swagger of the game in general, just the whole scope of it started changing, and so his look, the way he played, all that I think played into the fact that he became such an icon. But what's some of y'all thoughts on that before we continue? Jovi, I'm gonna start with you.
I have to agree with you because Jordan came in the league in '84.
Right.
Allen was 98. So you're looking at what, 10, 14 years later?
Well, I think Iverson came. I think it was 96.
It was 96.
Yeah,
wasn't it? Sorry about that. So 12 years later, into the league, kids who were coming of age at that time, high school or whatever the case may be, they did see him as like that transition player into the new era, that and one era. And you're absolutely right. His swag. I think if he was a traditional player, he wouldn't have had that same impact. But because of the cornrows, that's why they had to make the NBA players have that dress code because of Iverson. He came in, looking like he was straight off the street corner selling a dime bag. And so Stern had to make some rules because it was like, this is getting out of hand. This is out of control. And Iverson was at the vanguard for that attitude. I will say this, though, like Eric, we grew up in the Chi. Iverson didn't cross MJ. He palmed the ball. He was palming. The NBA refs at that time had to make an exception to allow that play to go through. Any other time, that's a palming call. That was not a real cross. And that's why it took MJ off guard. Because if you notice, it never happened again. Think about it.
Peeps, man, give your take, brother.
Real quick, just piggybacking off of y'all, just he was a cultural icon. I mean, the tattoos, yeah, you had Dennis Rodman, you had a few other guys that had the tattoos, but Rodman was more or less, no offense, was looked up as a freak. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a weirdo, you know what I'm saying? Iverson brought the hood to the NBA, you know what I'm saying? And that transitions to music, to clothing lines and all of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he helped transition the NBA culturally. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, and then you got the And1 mixtapes that was really, really hot. Hell, you had games like NBA Streets. You know what I'm saying? That followed those same templates. So you know what I'm saying? All of that came from Allen Iverson. And just a quick note, right after Iverson did that to Jordan, what did Jordan come back and do? He dunked on the whole damn team, basically. So we ain't gonna keep going over it. Right, you know what I'm saying? But just know, look, Jordan is the greatest player by far of all time. There's some little snot-nosed kid who's shitting in a pamper who's gonna grow up to be 6'9", 220 pounds, and is going to dominate the league in another 25 years. It just is what it is. But as of right now, Jordan is still the greatest. Jordan got, but Jordan gotten more than he got. Right. You follow me on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody gonna get got. But it ain't how many times you get got, it's how many times you get them. And all Jordan did was get them.
Damn, big time.
Bull.
Big
he
time.
ain't just a Chicago Bull, he's a Chicago Pit Bull. That's Jordan.
Yeah, let's continue this video, man.
Up on nobody's Sports Center highlights, period.
And the next clip that we're going to take a look at is from Kobe Bryant himself, talking about how he admired Allen Iverson and how Allen Iverson pushed Kobe to become even better.
Allen Iverson is
Who knows any better than I?
There's a place where you'll find everything you need to put everything in its place. Pack more, stack more, store more, save more, and clear the way for doing at the Home Depot. Shop savings online and in-store now.
Shaq were announced as the finalists for the Hall of Fame. I know both guys meant a lot to you. Talk about that.
and AI as a competitor, he drove me to be as more obsessive about the game, because I had to figure out how to solve that problem, And I told him, when I saw him here this weekend, I said, man, you don't realize how much you push me, and I don't think, people nowadays realize how great you were as a player, and how big of a problem you were for defenses.
So for me, Rachel, I actually had to guard this guy, and it was one game where he was killing us in Philly. He was killing like our guards, and Doc gave me that look like, it's your assignment now. The dude never stops running, so I got to score and I got to slow him down. I was so tired after the game. I was the last one in the shower, just like soaking and trying to figure out, why am I so tired from guarding and chasing this dude all over the court. But he was a joy to compete against.
I was kind of looking at it like, well,
don't play with my
I was kind of like,
emotions.
well, this is kind of close. Kyrie, he's got the handles, he finishes. I look at AI, I'm like, man, he's got great handles. I was like, this is kind of close. But then when you kind of put it in perspective, AI took a team to the finals, and they didn't have much.
George Lynch.
Don't make me come across this table,
but T-Mac, they didn't have much.
They were a great defensive team.
Yes, they were. They were
great.
Yes, no. But I'm talking about from an offensive standpoint, they did not have much but Allen. Eric Snow at your point guard. And again, like you said, Eric Snow is a great defender, but he can't make a shot.
Yep.
And then you got George Lynch. He can't make a shot. It was a bunch of guys that they had that couldn't do a whole lot.
Poor man listening to this right now.
AI. I think when KD said that, there's obviously a lot of respect for Kyrie, and I have a lot of. I think we all have a lot of respect for Kyrie and his ability to get to the basket, finish the way he does, his mad handles. But no. AI.
We get caught to living in the moment,
Yeah.
Don't make me come across this table.
Hold on. I would never say Kyrie is better than AI. Never. Because you're building up like no. I competed against this man.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I know what he did in this league when it was tougher, it was more physical.
Oh, heck yeah.
You put AI in today's game
when you can't touch him.
When you can't touch. Come on, man. He averaged 30 back then.
Right.
Imagine what he could do in this league today.
Am I going to try to get Allen Iverson back to what he did when he did the crossover?
Iverson draws Jordan now.
No, that was a great move. I'm never the type of guy that says, I can't get choked up. I just try to limit those opportunities.
I know that Allen Iverson is not the prime king. I know everybody don't like him. I know his history's been, well documented. But we're talking basketball. Y'all need to go back and look at the highlights. That was a poor representation of the highlights. No disrespect to anybody, but I'm a fan of the man. And one story I have, we have a practice. He's going hard.
I'm gonna stop before Weber get into his story so I can let him tell it properly. I just want to point out one thing that is shifting in my mind a little bit is when they made when they was making that comparison to Kyrie and Allen Iverson. I do think that just as individual players, I think that Kyrie is a more skilled player. I think, you know what I mean? But watching this is starting to make me realize, even when they make that comparison, like Iverson had more. There was some intangibles about him that I don't always like recognize even myself. About him that added to his cachet, that a lot of people may miss, may not miss, but Iverson was a warrior and he could lead a team. Like the fact that he did lead that scrub team to the finals, that says a lot. That says a lot right there. Because imagine if you threw Kyrie into that same situation, which in current times he's had a chance to be the lead dog on his team with better talent around, and not been able to do nothing with it. Like Kyrie is not a leader. He don't. It's certain intangibles. Like even if he's like the more skilled player, he just don't have certain intangibles that Allen Iverson did. But real quick in like let's just say 30 seconds or so, Jovi, what you got to say about that?
Well, I agree with the narrative that's being spoken of. Iverson played in a tougher league. I hate the reason why I hate the comparisons of players today versus yesteryear, I should say, is because those players were building block players once upon a time. These players have something to go off of once they saw the skill level getting higher, something to look to say, I aspire to be better than that. The NBA, for all intents and purposes, once upon a time, was just like, who was the best of the best? Now they have camps, they get pampered more, you know, they have way more amenities in the NBA and in these leagues that lead up to the NBA where you should be better, you know, skill wise. You have looked at the greatest who were tougher, who played in a tougher league and can draw off of that energy to sit up here and be able to shoot better or be the inside outside players that a lot of these tall players have. Right. Iverson was a part of that prototype era, and people watched him and took like whatever shortcomings he had and shored it up. I think Allen Iverson, I'm like you. I think he was legendary considering what he had to work with.
Right, right. Peeps, what about you?
Joe just said everything.
Yeah. No, he y'all. I mean, those intangibles that I spoke of. That it's start. I'm looking at them a little different, but we'll keep this going.
Well documented. When we're talking basketball, y'all need to go back and look at the highlights. That was a poor representation of the highlights. No disrespect to anybody, but I'm a fan of the man. And one story I have. We have a practice. He's going hard as I don't know what. The media's been on him, kind of all this, and he's just mad. He's quiet, he's not saying nothing. I'm like, oh yeah, I feel something coming. We go to Milwaukee. It was the best game I've ever seen by a teammate in my life. He gave him 60-something, passing the ball, doing his thing. Was he a difficult player to play with? He only knows how to score. He only knows how to go hard. But I've never in my life, never, played with a player that played as hard as him on the court. Maybe Bobby Jackson, Doug Christie, other guys that played as hard. And so it's a lot of guys I know played this hard, but I've never been with somebody played as hard as him. And so when I see him going through all this, you know, I just hope that at the end of the day, because all we're talking about is basketball. He's not President Obama. All we're talking about is Boop. And if you look at him and what he did, man, you name me another guy with the heart he had every night. He used to wear hockey pads. You know, the pads that go, you guys probably wore them too, the pads that go all the way around you. I used to see him after games, bruised, banged up, and his only thing was, yo, Webb, I got to go hard. You know, if they watch me, this is the first night. This might be the first time anybody's ever come see me play. It's just an honor to watch that guy play, man. I'm proud to say I played with him.
Justin Kimbrell said on that night he had 54.
54. Well, I lied. I put 6 on it. I put 6 on it. My bad.
I think for a guy his size, he was the most intimidating player in the NBA. I mean, you think about a guy 6 foot, 160 pounds, he was intimidating because physically he had a level of speed that nobody had ever seen. You know about the killer crossover, but to see Webb's point, the athleticism and then the relentless attack mode that he was in, because that was the thing that made him so tough, because some guys you would play against, and Rick, you know, they're going to take 16, 18 shots a game. You know, you're going to have an opportunity to defend them. Iverson would go out there and take 35, 40 shots. He was in attack mode the entire game, and that just put a tremendous amount of pressure on 5 guys defensively. It wasn't just the point guard.
So how good was Allen Iverson in my opinion? Well, I remember it like it was yesterday. When Allen Iverson came into the NBA, he to me was like the new generation of NBA players. Super quick, incredible handles, a scoring machine, and remember, he was a point guard at first, so he was a score-first point guard. And in his prime, he definitely was one of the best players we have ever seen. Like Michael Jordan once said, pound for pound, probably one of the best players who ever played in the NBA. Alright, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
All right, it's about to end in a second, so, you know, him being cut off, it was okay. But, yeah, that was NBA Legends explain how good Allen Iverson really was. You know, in short, Jovi, because we only got like some 7 minutes and some change. What was your overall assessment?
Well, like I said at the top of the show, I used to love watching Iverson play. I thought he was exciting, and I think he was tougher than today's NBA player. I remember Iverson getting knocked down, and the one thing I always appreciated about him is he always got back up. He came up in a time where there was no load management. If he could go, he could go. And Chris Webber said it. He said a fan might be out there, and this might be the only time they get to see me play. And when you have a player with that mentality, like I don't like the modern mentality of the NBA players. Load management is BS to me. You're paid millions of dollars to play 82 games a year. Get out there and play. You know, you're paid too much money. And Iverson understood that from a fan's point of view.
Yeah. No,
that mentality is legendary. I'll leave it at that.
No, that was good stuff. That was good stuff. Peeps, what about you?
You know, excuse me, he's every bit the Hall of Famer and the legend that they said he was. I mean, pound for pound, you can put him against anybody in any league, any decade. He's one of those guys that you can put in any decade. You can put him in the 50s. You can put him in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And damn sure you can put him in the 2000s, which he played in 2010s and beyond. And he would still be that man. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes to show you the heart that he had. And like I said, the cultural aspects that he brought with the tattoos, with the cornrows, he brought a lot of the culture to the NBA. And in doing so, he brought it to the world. You know what I'm saying? The NBA might be, an American-based game, but it's worldwide. And he definitely left his mark on that. Did he win all the championships? No. But there are tons of NBA legends and Hall of Famers that didn't win championships, but they still got that love. So shouts out to AI.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was good stuff, y'all. Um, Something crazy happened during this. Like, usually I wouldn't watch one of these things and at the end of it come out with an actual change of heart and a change of mind. Because I've had so many discussions about Allen Iverson over the years and just my take on him, and it's probably been a negative one to anybody who's been on the other side of that debate. But um, it was about like I think about the shooting percentage and stuff like that, and there's some other things, the amount of shots he took and all this stuff. But now, when I really after watching this dude, it really made me consider like his inner fortitude and a lot of other intangibles that would make a player great. And so when I really like sat back and watched this, I'm like, you know what? Like I think I've been tripping a little bit all this time. I I was one of those people who was a little thrown by his and I'm a hip hop dude, so of course I want the culture, and the fact that he brought some of those things to the game was dope, but it also created an attitude kind of shift, with a lot of the newer players that would come, and I was looking at it as sort of like a disrespect almost that these guys wouldn't respect the old way. So I guess in some way I was kind of like the old man, get off my lawn type of dude, you know what I mean? But at a young age, and so now when I look at it, I'm like, God dang it, Iverson was that dude. Like I think I'm putting too much into his shooting percentage and all that when he did go hard. He did have the heart of a lion. These are all things that I saw and knew then, but I was just I was nitpicking. So I think my view has kind of shifted on him after this. So let me see what we playing with time wise. We got like 2 minutes and some change, um, but yeah, no, I really think that dude he did have heart, and he played. He carried his teams, man, the best that he could, and did what he was supposed to do. He came into the game as a shooter, and as a scorer and somebody who was supposed to be doing what he was doing. So I have to give him kudos for that at the end of the day. But we don't have much time left, so I'm gonna get ready to end this. But before we do, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the share button, hit the playlist option. You'll pick the one named. Well, I'll put it in two different ones. I have a playlist called Sports Reactions and Basketball Highlights. So I'll end up putting this in both. Um, so you could definitely check for this video in either one of those. I do have playlists for other things. It's mainly music, but as you can see, we do a lot of other things too. So go through those playlists, check out everything, watch those videos to the end. That way you'll be making sure that we push these videos out into the algorithms that much more, or through the algorithms, however you would word that. But Cash App, $ You Made Roscoe. PayPal at You Made Roscoe. For those who like to show their support or appreciation for the work being done, any donations, that's definitely welcome. And that's about that. That's all I got. Any last couple of words y'all want to throw out there?
Just follow me on Jovi Wan Shinobi on YouTube. I'm out.
Yeah, no, definitely support my man. Next time when we have enough time, we got to get you to promote your page and all your stuff, and we got to promote the Warhead stuff too when we get a chance. But Peeps, what about you?
Practice.
Oh my God! Yeah, no. Why the fuck are we practicing? Peeps, only you.